DreAllDay.com.
Now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day, to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative, which is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques all underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as DreAllDay, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is, today and tomorrow, this is actually going to be a two-part series, is the keys to wearing suits. If you're going to wear a suit, or you are thinking about wearing a suit, or you have ever worn a suit, I'm specifically talking to the men out there. So the ladies, if you have a man in your life who has a suit, wants to get a suit, wants to wear suits, or a suit, period, I'm going to tell you the keys to wearing your suit, which is not going to be the things that most people think are the keys. And that's one of the reasons why I'm talking about it, because if I was just telling you things that everybody else is already saying, then there would be no need for me to say it. So that's what we're going to talk about here today with the suit wearing. Now, it's been nearly, for me personally, for some of you did not know about me back in the days when I was not wearing a suit all the time. It's been nearly 3 years since I started to wear a suit every business day, as I say it. So on the weekends, if you catch me on a Saturday or Sunday and you're ever in South Florida, I will not be in a suit often. Sometimes I am, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm doing some business on a Saturday and Sunday, I will be in a suit. But if you catch me on a normal Saturday or Sunday, I am not in a suit. But Monday through Friday, again, what I call business days or school days, I have a suit on. So I'm going to share here today with men what I've learned and the key tips that will help you for when you decide to put on a suit, or for the times that you do have a suit on. If you didn't hear the episode where I explained why I started doing it, listen to episode number 2245. That's where I explained the change for myself. Point number one, topic here today, again, this is part one of a two-part mini series, the keys to wearing suits. Number one, be in great physical shape. If you notice men who you see wearing suits, you may sometimes see that a man in a suit is not in great physical shape. Therefore, the suit is cool that he has a suit on. Maybe you respect the fact that he's wearing one and you have some perceptions of him, but it's hard to make a suit look good if the body of the man wearing it is not looking good. In other words, you need to look good with no clothes on to look good with clothes on. All right, that's the point that I'm making to the men out there. Did everybody hear that? You need to look good with no clothes on to look good with any clothes on, no matter what the clothes are. The clothes do not make the man makes the clothes. I know people say that the suit makes the man. Nonsense. The man makes the suit. And this is what I mean. The suit does not make your body look good. If your body is not in good shape, the suit cannot perform magic on your body. And this applies to women as well, by the way. Any women out there, there's nothing you can wear that's going to make your body look good if your body does not actually look good. Now, if we're talking camera angles and all of that stuff, the tricks that women often play on the internet and with social profiles and all of that, that's a different story. I'm talking about how your body actually looks. I'm not talking about you playing games with the angles and the shadows. And I know the game, trust me. I've been around several blocks. That's not what I mean. All right? And for the men, we don't really play camera angle games with pictures. So I'm talking about in real life, how your body actually looks, you in the bathroom mirror looking at yourself, all right, being honest with yourself. What I'm saying is you need to be in great physical shape so that the suit complements what you already have. Okay, the suit's not going to make you into something that you ain't. So you, suit wearer, you do not need to have a super expensive or custom tailored suit in order to look good in a suit, but you do need to be in great physical shape because, again, the suit is just going to accentuate what your body is already telling you and everybody else. So being in great physical shape will make even a basic low-cost suit look good because your body looks good. All right, all the suit is doing is just showing everybody else what you got. And now again, the suit can do a better job of it or a not as good job of it, but the suit's not going to erase what's already there. And again, it cannot create something that is not there. And so do your part and actually take care of your body. In the game of chess, they say good moves come from good positions. It's the same thing in any type of combat sport. A good punch in boxing comes from you being in position to throw a good punch and land the punch. It's the same thing in relationships. If you want to meet the right type of person, you have to be where whoever you consider the right type, you got to be where those people are at. And it's the same thing with your clothing. All right, you need to make it easy for your clothes to make you look good by actually looking good even when you're not in clothes. If you look good without clothes, then any clothes you put on are probably just going to make you look better than you already look. But if you don't look good without clothes on, no amount of clothing that you put on is going to change that reality. All right, clothes change, seasons change. The suit that you're wearing now might not be the same suit you're wearing 10 years from now. But even though clothing changes, you are stuck with you. That's why the most important investment every human being ever makes are the investments that you make in yourself. Because you will always be with you no matter what changes. You might have a different car now than you had 20 years ago. You will have different clothes 10 years from now than what you have right now. You may live in a different house. You may have a completely different business. Maybe you can change your hairstyle. Maybe you can change the thing that you do for a living. Your friends may even change. Your career may change. But you as the person, the physical version of you, when you stand in the mirror with no clothes on, that is always going to be there. All right, so what you do with that matters a lot more than what you put on top of it. Point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is the keys to wearing suits. Number 2, wear the proper size and the proper cut of your suit. As a man, every man listening to this should know your suit size. Yes, suits come in sizes, in case any of you didn't know. You should know what your suit size is. I am 6 feet 4 inches tall, 193 centimeters in metric, and my suit size is a 40 long. You need to know your suit size. You need to know the size of your suit. And if you have fluctuations in weight, then your suit size will change. You need to know what it is, and you need to wear the proper size and the proper cut. Now, these are two different things. My suit size is probably not going to change unless I was to gain a significant amount of weight. And I doubt that happens. But if you're going to have suits in your closet, you need to know the size of the suit so that when you go looking, you can pick the right size. It won't be that hard to find it and figure it out, even if you never have figured it out. But you should know, because every man should at least own a suit. Because if you need to go to a funeral or a wedding or some formal business event, or you get invited to the White House, you probably got to have a suit on. So you should have at least one. And on top of this, folks, you need to find your proper cut. Men, you have to find your proper cut of suits. Ladies who have men in your life who don't have any type of fashion sense, help them figure out their proper cut. What is the proper cut? A cut means, for all of you to understand as a background, not all suits are made the same way, and they are not all equal, even though they are the same size. So a suit in my size, let's say a 40 long made by, let's say, Tommy Hilfiger, is not going to fit on my body the same way as a suit that's a 40 long made by Suit Supply or made by Tom Ford. They're going to fit differently. In my experience, American brands that make suits, their suits tend to be more boxy and they tend to be more wide. My reason for this is, and I always make this tongue-in-cheek joke, is that even though I don't know the real reason, it appears to me it's because American men, as they age and grow, tend to grow more horizontally than vertically. So that's the reason why they make the suits boxy and wide, so that it can fit the American men who are always getting wider again, horizontally from the left and to the right. Whereas European cuts, in my experience, and I tend to wear European cut suits. I'm tall, I have long arms, and I'm in great physical shape. I tend to wear European cuts because they tend to be made for the vertical man, the verticalized man, and they tend to be more trim. They are tighter. They hug the body a little bit more. They're made more to fit the form of the man. Again, there are some American cuts that do this, but European cuts tend to do it more. It better fits the form of the man, and they tend to be made better. They tend to fit a lot better on slim and athletically built men. So any of you listening to this who is around my size and you are in great shape and you don't have a belly, then you probably should look at European cut suits. And a European cut does not necessarily mean it's going to be significantly more expensive than an American cut. It will be more expensive in general. European cuts tend to cost a little bit more. You can get a very low priced suit from an American manufacturer, such as the Men's Warehouse, for a very small amount of money, relative to like the cheapest European cut you can buy might cost you a few more dollars. But it's worth it because, again, you want the fit to be proper. You need to be in a proper cut. If you're a tall, slender man, do not get an American cut and think that that's your set. You need to try on the European cut. Look at yourself in the mirror in the European cut. Look at yourself in the mirror in the American cut and tell me which one looks better. And should you invest in the one that looks better? The answer is yes, you should. Yes, you should invest in the one that looks better. American cuts, again, on me. I'm using myself as an example. I told you I'm 6'4". I'm athletic. I work out every day. I have long arms. American cut suits never look good on me. I haven't worn one American cut that looked good on me. I'm not saying they don't exist, but I haven't seen one. And I tend to, if I'm going to get another suit, I usually just go straight to the European cuts because I know what I like and I know how they fit and I know which ones do best for me. So an American suit of my exact same size, I just said, it doesn't lay the same on my body. Remember I saw, I think it was Nordstrom. Nordstrom had a Nordstrom branded suit and they were selling it. It was like on clearance. I'm like, man, at that price, I got to at least give it a shot. It was really cheap on clearance. So I ordered it and I said, all right, let me see this. If I can get this suit at this price, that's a steal. It's a steal of something that I can add to my closet as long as it fits properly. And I put it on and it fit terribly. It was the right size, but it was an American cut suit and it really looked terrible on my body, even though it was the proper size. And this is what I mean. So you all have to find your right size. Do not stop at just looking at one place for your suits. I would suggest, if you're going to go look at suits, I would suggest you start by going to a department store, like a Nordstrom. I did this with Nordstrom. It was online. That's the reason why it looked terrible. And I wouldn't have even, had I been in the store, I would have just went to the fitting room and tried them on. But I suggest you go to a department store like a Neiman Marcus, a Saks Fifth Avenue, a Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, even a Macy's. Macy's doesn't always have the best selection, but a department store. And the reason I suggest you go into a department store is because they will have, not often, they always have multiple brands of the same type of clothes. So you're not stuck with just trying on Hugo Boss because you're in the Boss store, or you're not just stuck trying on the Louis Vuitton because you're in the Louis Vuitton store. So go to a department store and they have different brands and you can try on 3 different suits from 3 different brands, all in the same size, and you will immediately notice a difference in how they all fit. Moving on to point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is the keys to wearing suits. Those of you men out there who are going to wear a suit, whether it's for a special occasion one time or you're going to wear it all the time, you should invest in a pair or 2 of high quality shoes. A pair or 2, at least, of high quality shoes. And if you're not wearing suits that often, you can get away with 1 pair of shoes. If you wear suits consistently, especially if you do a lot of walking, you walk around a good amount. I tend to walk a good amount even when I'm in a suit. You probably want to have a couple pairs of high quality shoes. And I'll explain what I mean when I say high quality shoes. I don't want you guessing about this. Most people, especially men, do not know much about suits and suit quality. And really what I'm talking about here are the observers, the people who will see you in your suit. I'm not really talking about you in the suit. But most people, when they see you in a suit, they don't know anything about suits. They don't know anything about suit quality. Somebody can tell you if your suit looks good on you or if it doesn't. And that's why you got to get the right cut. So people will tell you it looks good on you because it should fit your body properly. So again, choose accordingly based on the style that fits you. But to the average-eyed human being, every suit looks the same. Most people can't discern by looking at your suit, know where it's from, how it's cut, etc. People don't know that stuff. But here's one thing that most people can tell is that by looking at you, they can look at your shoes and tell if you have on some cheap shoes or you have on some quality shoes. Most people are pretty good at discerning if you have quality shoes on or if you don't. Why is this? Well, probably because everybody wears shoes. Not everybody wears suits, but everybody wears shoes. Everybody wears something on their feet, regardless of what they're wearing on their legs and their chest. And people are really good at discerning the quality of your shoes, especially when you're in a suit. Because when you're wearing a pair of shorts or a t-shirt, you could have anything on your feet. You can have on some $10 slides that you got from Target and nobody will really care because the rest of your outfit says you're casual. But if you put on a suit, then your outfit says you're formal. The shoes better match the suit, which means your shoes need to look good to make the suit look good. If you're wearing a nice suit with some cheap ass shoes, you just killed the whole look. Everybody understand this? And if you're wearing a raggedy looking suit with some really nice shoes, you also killed the whole look. All of this needs to be uniform and needs to look right. If you are a man and you are single and you don't really have the fashion sense to understand what to do with these things, what I would suggest is that you go to a department store and you go talk to some of the salespeople hanging around the suits area and let them advise you and help you out in getting the right fit. Now, here's what I will say as a disclaimer to what I just told you. When you go into those areas and you're talking to one of the department store employees, I would suggest that you kind of walk around the perimeter of it and you want to find the right type of salesperson, because you don't want to get connected to a salesperson who doesn't really have much fashion sense themselves and they're trying to help you out with fashion. And in department stores, sometimes you have these old people who don't have a lot of fashion sense themselves, but they're a salesperson, so they're going to try to sell you some shit, but they can't really advise you on why to get what and why it looks good, etc. So you want to try to find, in my experience, here's what I want to tell you to look for. You want to look for someone who is very well dressed themselves. Their suit just looks sharp on them. And you can tell often Actually, you can tell this all the time. Next time you're out about and about, look around. When you see people in formal clothing, and you can tell that they wear formal clothing every day to the point that they don't really think about it and don't really care, you can tell by how their clothes look on them. Their clothes look like they don't really care about them, that they don't take care of their clothes, and their clothes kind of look a little bit, raggedy is not the best word, but there's no other word is coming to me right now. They can have on a suit, but the suit kind of looks raggedy on them, and you can tell by the way the suit lays that they don't really take care of their clothing. It may have wrinkles in it, and it just looks like they wear suits all the time to the point that they don't even care and they don't even think about it. You don't want your clothes to look like that. And when you're in a department store and you see someone working there in the suit department, they usually have on a suit themselves if there's a man. If their clothes look like that, don't go to that person, all right, because they're going to try to sell you something, but they have no fashion sense with which to advise you. You want to buy from somebody who can advise you at the same time, someone who can be a consultative salesperson. Consultative salesperson is a person who's going to advise you and inform you at the same time that they're selling you something. And they're going to advise you and inform you in a way that you feel smarter when you leave the store, not like you just got robbed by a person who was just trying to sell you some shit. And the people who are dressed the way that I said they shouldn't be dressed, they're really good at selling shit. They've been doing it forever. Look at their clothes. All right? They've been doing that for 30 years, selling shit, but they have no fashion sense. Don't let that person help you. So this is what I'm saying. Go to where the suit department is, kind of walk around the suit department. Don't go in it, because if you go in it, then one of them is going to attach themselves to you and try to talk to you, and now you're stuck with that salesperson, because you can't go to them and say, well, I don't want you to help me, I want her to help me. You can't do that. So you got to walk around it and just look at the salespeople. Don't look at them in their faces. Just try to get a look at them and try to find somebody who looks like they have some fashion sense, and then ask them for help. And if you don't see anybody who looks like they have any fashion sense, come back the next day. It's going to be different people working, or go to a different department store and find somebody with some actual fashion sense. If you're a man by yourself and you have no help. If there is available, and this is in my experience walking into department stores, if there is available a young person, they usually have pretty good fashion sense if they're working in any type of fashion department. So in department stores like a Nordstrom they generally carry pretty high end stuff. When you go to a store like Nordstrom, which is all over the place, look for a young-ish person, a person who's under the age of 35. They usually have pretty good fashion sense because they're working in the fashion department. So the shoe department always has people with good fashion sense, always. And the suit department doesn't always. Suit department often will have these old men who don't have much fashion sense themselves, but they do know how to sell you a suit. And again, they can't really help you. There'll be women in there too, but not always. If you see a young-ish woman who's like 35 under or even 30 and under, go straight to them. They will actually know how to dress you in a proper way. Now, another thing I will tell you on this is that some of you men may think, and some of you may just have this in your mind just when it comes to salespeople, period, that they're going to try to sell you stuff and they're just trying to get you to buy more things. Well, that's actually their job. They're supposed to sell you things. But again, if you pick someone who has good fashion sense, they should be able to explain to you, this is why you want to get this suit instead of that suit. Look how this one looks compared to how that one looks. Keep everything I'm telling you here in mind. And you can even tell them, you can be honest with them. If you're a man and it's a woman, it's a female, all right, she already knows that she can have your ear a little bit, especially if she's cute. You let her know, look, I don't really know much about fashion. Can you help me and help me get a suit and an outfit that looks right, so that when I show up somewhere, people will look at me and say, that guy looks sharp. Tell them that, and they will help you if you ask. But you have to be willing to be a little bit vulnerable and ask them. And also, not for nothing, gay men. If there happens to be a gay guy in there, gay guys who work in clothing tend to have actually really, really, really good fashion sense. If you're uncomfortable dealing with a gay guy, then try to find a girl. But I'm just telling you the truth. Gay men tend to have actually very good fashion sense, especially if they're working in a fashion department of a store. They're working there because they like that shit. And they actually can help dress you in the right way if you, again, are open enough and you're not like viscerally turned off by the fact that it's a gay guy, especially if you're a heterosexual. So anyway, I'm just giving y'all the real. So don't say I didn't tell you. So anyway, what I was talking about here, to most people, every suit generally looks the same. Almost everyone, however, can look at your shoes and tell if they are of quality or if they're not. And one more thing on the finding a salesperson who can help you out. If you go to a department store that's in an urban area, they tend to have younger salespeople working there. If you go to a place that's really an older place, like you go to if I was to go to Nordstrom in West Palm Beach, Florida, it's gonna be a bunch of old white guys working there. Why? Because West Palm Beach is full of a bunch of old white guys. That's what it is. If I go to a Nordstrom that's in Where's a Nordstrom where there are more younger people? I go to a Nordstrom in there's one in Coral Gables in Miami. That's in the middle of the city. There are going to be younger people working there. Their workers tend to be younger because the area is younger. I'll probably I'm better off finding a young person there than if I go to West Palm Beach or Daytona or something like that. You get what I'm saying? So just think strategically so you can find the right type of salesperson. Or the other thing you can do is, if you know a female who has good fashion sense, who is has enough, she has your ear enough for where she can advise you to some things and you will listen. Have her go with you to the store. She will actually enjoy this to get you dressed and get you looking the way that you're supposed to be looking. If you know a woman who, again, has some fashion sense and can help you out. All right, so that's the best I can tell you as far as who can help you when you get in these places. Now, going back to my point here, because I digressed. That was a digression. Do not go cheap on your shoes. Don't do this. I'll tell you this from personal experience. When I got I had a suit back when I graduated from college. I got rid of that suit, but the wave of suits that I have now, I remember when I got one, I got a pair of shoes to go with it. And the shoes were about $170. Dress shoes that go with a suit, you should expect to spend that or more. And let me tell you the story. I got this pair of shoes and I didn't even wear them that often because I wasn't wearing business clothes every day. I was wearing business clothes maybe 2 times a week every now and then, and not even all day. And these shoes, they got wet once. It was raining and I had to walk from the building to the car in the rain. They got wet a little bit. And after only a few months, a couple of months maybe, these shoes just look like shit. They look like I've been walking around as a door-to-door salesman for 10 years in the same pair of shoes. That's what they look like. And I only had them for a couple months and I wasn't even wearing them every day. And they were all beat up. And I'm like, how the hell did these shoes get that beat up that fast? Then, by the way, if you want to see these shoes, I'll expose myself here. You go look at the video of one of my TEDx talks called How to Be Confident When You're Not. It's called Dear Dre, How to Be Confident When You're Not. The shoes that I'm wearing in that video were those shoes that I'm talking about. They no longer exist because I got rid of them. I actually took them back to the store and got a refund on the shoes. And anyway, what I did then, I replaced those and I bought me a pair of loafers that I still have to this day. They were $600. These are designer loafers. They're $600 designer loafers. And I went from a $170 pair of shoes to a $600 pair of shoes. Now you may be asking, why would you invest $600 in a pair of shoes? Well, I just told you, I still have those shoes to this day. That TED Talk was in 2016. It's been 10 years. And those shoes, I wouldn't say they still look brand new, but they still look 90% of what they were when I bought them. Why? Because when it comes to fashion, in my experience, ladies and gentlemen, the more you pay, the better quality stuff you get. You get what you pay for when it comes to fashion. You go cheap on your fashion, your stuff is going to look cheap, feel cheap, and it's going to fall apart. And when it comes to fashion, you tend to get what you pay for. And all of you have heard that phrase, you get what you pay for. It's pretty true. So I'm telling you not to go cheap on your shoes, men, because women, the women that you come across, even if they're not romantically interested in you, a woman appreciates a man in a nice suit. All right, trust me. Again, I've been wearing suits every day for 3 years. All right, trust me on that one. A woman appreciates a man who is well dressed and putting on a suit and your whole outfit looks right, especially on top of the fact that you are in good shape. A woman appreciates that, even if she's not looking at you as a love interest. She just appreciates, damn, a man in a suit. I appreciate the fact that you have a suit on. I can't tell you how many times I had people say that to me, both male and female. And again, these are people who I don't even know. So if your shoes look like shit, a woman's going to notice that immediately and is immediately going to turn her off. She's not going to offer you any compliments because your shoes look like shit. So she can't compliment your outfit because your shoes are part of the outfit. Do not wear cheap shoes. Men, do not wear cheap shoes. Ladies already know this. All right, most ladies who are listening to this, you already understand this. Men, do not wear cheap shoes. It makes your whole outfit, it just kills the whole outfit. All right, don't do it. All right, it's like if you're a good looking guy at the bar and then you walk up to a girl and she likes how you look, she's smiling as you approach, and then you start talking and your breath is terrible. All right, you just killed the whole situation. All right, your shoes do the exact same thing. Your shoes are like bad breath, okay? So if you can't viscerally understand cheap shoes, viscerally understand bad breath. All of you have experienced somebody with bad breath talking to you, right? Okay, that's how somebody feels when they see that your shoes look like shit, even though the rest of the outfit look good, okay? So in the professional world, things like acting or modeling, or if you're a lawyer or a professional speaker, anybody who knows their stuff will tell you that you need to get some photos to represent you. Like maybe it goes on your website or on your business card or in your brochure, or you're going to have some billboards around town at the bus stop. We got to have a really good headshot of you. And anyone who knows their stuff will tell you, don't go cheap on the photos. Don't go get some cheap photographer for headshots or things that are going to represent you professionally. Get a high quality photographer who can take high quality photos that actually make you look good, because this is the representation of you that other people are going to have. That's your marketing. The most important representation of you is what people see of you that you don't even know that they're seeing. And if that representation is cheap, then you are positioning yourself in a negative light. Why would you do that? If you're wearing a suit, gentlemen, your shoes, somewhat ironically, because they go on your feet, they're your form of headshot, because people can identify the quality of your shoes better than they can identify the quality of your suit. Do you understand? Because the bad shoes will cheapen everything else you have on and everything about you. Because if you have cheap shoes on, people just going to assume you're a cheap person. Look at your shoes. That's how they're judging you. Do people judge book by covers? Yes, they do. I remember buying, again, I told you, a pair of cheap shoes. Then I bought a $600 pair of shoes, and $600 shoes I still got them. They still last. It's not just about the name brand or the logo on the shoes. But again, as I already told you, in my experience when it comes to fashion, name brand, high priced stuff tends to last a lot longer than cheap stuff. And actually that applies in damn near every aspect of life. Anything cheap that you get, you're going to have to buy it again and again and again and again, because cheap shit falls apart and it's cheap. All right, what do you expect? If you pay for more upfront, you invest in a higher end thing upfront, you will not need to keep replacing it because it's not going to fall apart. That's how it is. Again, as the saying goes, you get what you pay for. So how much are you willing to invest so that you don't have to keep buying it all over again and again, so that you don't look cheap? All this said, folks, let's recap today's class. This is part 1 of my 2-part mini series here on the keys to wearing suits. Number 1, be in great physical shape. A suit cannot perform magic on your body that you have not performed on your body through actual discipline. Number 2, wear the proper size suit and the proper cut. Try on different suits of different brands so you can find the cut that makes the most sense for you. What you'll end up finding is that you find a couple of brands, maybe 1 or 2, or maybe even 1, that fits your body really well, and you can get all your suits from that company. Number 3, do invest in a pair of high quality shoes. This is the first thing that people will notice about you. When I was in college, we did this mock job interviews, because I was in this internship class that we had to take, because you have to take an internship to graduate, and from Penn State University, at least you did at that time. We did these mock interviews, and our professor told us this thing called the rules of 12. That's the top 12 inches from the top of your head down to your collarbone, and the bottom 12 inches from your feet up to your calf muscle. Those are the first things that people notice of you. Everything at the bottom and everything at the top. And then the first 12 seconds of engagement. Pretty much people make their decisions within that 12 frame. So if you violate the rules of 12, all right, your collars doesn't look right, your makeup is off, your hair looks terrible, you got something in your teeth, or your shoes are cheap, you have just killed the whole presentation. So honor the rules of 12 and make sure you are not making yourself look bad in ways that you don't even know that you're doing it. All that said, tomorrow we're going to go into part 2 of the series. Make sure you go to workonyourgameuniversity.com, have me as your direct coach, get to work with me specifically on these specific issues of presentation, marketing, putting yourself out there and drawing the right audience. Workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre all day.